Welcome back to another Sea of Thieves tutorial. We are doing the Executives cargo run. The cargo runs in Sea of Thieves don't vary a whole lot other than the amount you can get. So the Founders one gives you 2 and the Executive one gives you 4. And I wanted to get a little bit of each option for the type of cargo you get so that you can understand what works and how it works. As always, I highly recommend doing this as an emissary to maximize your profits, but this video is not about sailing as an emissary, and if you have not unlocked emissaries yet, you won't be able to set sail as an emissary, and that's okay. I have chosen to dive to this quest as there is no loot on board, and there are no items for me to lose by diving, so we will dive now and then see what type of cargo we get from this voyage. In a nutshell, Cargo Voyages asks you to get rum bottles, some sort of a silk, and plants, and then deliver them from point A to point B, and each of them have their own unique ways to make it to where they are turned in at full value, and we'll cover that as we get each one in this video, but that's the nutshell. Is you're going to go to an island, you're going to collect it from a person, and you're going to take the goods to another person. So you are basically functioning as a merchant, which should not be a big surprise. For this island, we are asked to collect the crates and goods from Wild Henry, which is here at Crook's Hollow, and he's in the little alcove on the inside. Now, you may not get this island, and you will need to find where your NPC is hidden, so it will differ depending on which island you go to, but you get the right idea. There's no indication of where your NPC is, so you will need to whether already know where they are, or maybe you could look up where they are if you've never done this type of voyage before. But a lot of the bigger islands do have an NPC to collect crates from, but sometimes you just have to collect it from an outpost, so it just depends. Once again, you'll see that I raised my sail and straightened my wheel, and I did not drop anchor so that in case someone does show up, we can quickly depart and get out of here. Now we collect our cargo, and you can see that it needs to be delivered to Rachel at the Finest Trading Post. And don't worry about the time, because trust me, they give you plenty of time to get it done. And we are very fortunate that I picked up the stool behind him by accident, but we're very fortunate that we got one of each type of cargo. Now there's now the new purple stuff. The purple level is worth a bit more, but the function is the same. And since we don't care about the gold in this video, it's just about what they do and how it works. I'm glad that we only have to do one of these quests to get this done. First, I collect the elegant cloth and I put it on the little bookshelf. That's where I prefer to put it, because then it won't get wet from the rain, and it will not get wet from the deck filling with water or the hull filling with water. The cloths, whether it's the elegant cloth or the other cloth, cannot get wet. If it gets wet or is dropped in the ocean, it will lose its value very quickly. So your job with this is to not let it get wet. And while I was talking about that, I placed the plants downstairs in the lowest part of the ship. That is because I can fill that area with water. Now your water bucket on the ship won't allow you to put as much water as you need to keep the plants satisfied, so I take some from the sea and I throw it into the hull. Now, I have found that sometimes this does not work and you still need to go down there, grab a bucket from your water barrel and splash it onto the plants. As long as you keep them watered, they will not dry out and they will be worth their maximum value. If you do not water them, they will wilt and then they will be worth less. I went to the map to find the end location, and I am now pointing my ship in that direction, and now we're going to play with some rum bottles. Rum bottles are the most likely cargo to take damage because they can take damage by jumping with them, dropping from too high with them, or if someone shoots cannons at you, whether it's a player or a skeleton ship, they can be damaged. I believe that they can also be damaged by megalodons. So if the megalodon charges your ship and bites it, it can also cause damage to these rum bottles. The rum bottles are incredibly fragile, but because I don't care about the gold for this, I'm going to show you what it looks like as you jump and jump and jump until they do break, and then they're worth less. I was surprised that it did not take as many jumps as I thought to break them. I thought it would break much sooner, and then it just kept going. So you have a little bit of leeway, but it does depend on how far you drop and how much these are bouncing to take damage. So if they crack, obviously they'll be worth less. Now, there's no foolproof way to keep them from taking damage from cannonballs, or from the Megalodon, or your own human error. But I like this little spot right here on the sloop because it's centered and it decreases the chances of them getting hit. But again, there's no guarantee that this will prevent them from taking damage. Now, if you saw right there, when I threw that bucket of water on the plants, they kind of jumped up a little bit. They straightened out. That is because they needed to be watered. So the amount of water I have down in the hull is clearly not enough to keep those plants satisfied. And now we will sail to our final location. While we are sailing to that final location, I do a few things. One, I check the horizon. I look for other players, potential threats to stopping me from completing my voyage. I look at the map. I look for reapers. I look to see how close they are, how far away they are, and I'm also checking to where the storm is, because if the storm is at the final location, then the cloth might get ruined. So in this case, the storm was far enough away, I wasn't worried about it, so I was placing the cloth out, I was watering the plants, I was just maintaining those few things that need to be watched while we sail. The rum bottles and the cloth you basically don't have to worry about for the rest of your journey unless you get spawned on by a skeleton ship or something like that. And now that we have approached our final location, we can turn them in and they will all be worth their maximum value because we took care of our goods. Now, obviously, my emissary value is not going to be very much here because I had just started my emissary flag and I'm not level 5 by a long shot. I'm not even level 2 at this point. So we aren't going to see much bonus here, but I do believe I turned these in during a gold rush hour, so they were worth a bit more than they should have been. So don't be deceived by the value that you see here in just a moment from my plants and my bottles and my cloth, because it's not quite accurate to how much you would normally get. But hey, gold rush is a thing, so if you check your events tab, you can see when the gold rush is. It's twice a day, and you can take advantage of that when turning things in. But that's up to you. You do you. Now I quickly drop everything off of the bow onto the platform, and it's not high enough for the rum bottles to take damage, so it should be okay. And I don't really care at this point that my ship took a little bit of damage because I'm done. This is the only thing I was planning on doing, and now let's turn it in. And that's how you complete cargo voyages in Sea of Thieves. Now there's also a version of this for the Devil's Roar, and really the concept is the same other than you gotta watch for volcanoes. There's an ashen version of every single quest in this game for the most part, and you do get more money for turning in those plants and cloth and rum in the Devil's Roar. So if you're looking to kind of boost your gold and boost your level that you receive by turning it in, I would recommend doing it in the Roar as long as you're not afraid of volcanoes. And if you want me to do a Roar quest just so you guys can see what it looks like, I'm happy to do that. Just let me know in the comments. And let me know if there's anything else you want me to cover. Of course, I will be continuing to cover Voyages and other things like that in Sea of Thieves. So just let me know. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. I appreciate you so much. If you want to watch more content, please click on one of these videos over here. Or if you haven't subscribed, click here. Or up above, if you would like to become a member of the CappCabbage channel for just $4, which is way less than a Twitch sub, and you get bonus emotes and a whole bunch of other cool stuff. So thank you so much again, and I will see you in the next video.